This is the 2025 Acura RDX. Is it the ultimate compact luxury SUV? Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. Today I'm at Acura in Shreveport, Louisiana, and we're going to go over the particulars on this RDX. We will also cover the changes that came with the refresh for this model year. Obviously not a full redesign, but I will tell you what you can expect here on this particular trim level as far as the changes go. If you come into Acura, don't forget about the Vehicle Visionary discount. If you mention that you watched my video on this model or anything else that's new, this only applies to new vehicles, you automatically get $500 off. So take advantage of that. So let's talk about what's different. And we can start right here with the grille. A little bit of a change. It has a frameless design now and a little bit more of a mesh look. We're still going to have the jewel eye LED headlights, the LED daytime running lights, and down there on the lower portion of the bumper, the LED fog lights. You'll find all of your sensors here. As far as all of your different safety features go, plenty going on here. This is the A-Spec Advance trim level we're looking at. And as we can see, let's see if I can give you a good view here. I don't know how well you can see. There we go, a little bit of the daylight coming through right here. The active air curtains here on the front end. And carrying over from 2024 to 2025 is going to be the fact that front-wheel drive no longer available on the RDX. All-wheel drive standard across all trim levels. And for those who are curious about tire and wheel size, we're looking at 255 for your width, 45 series sidewall, and a 20-inch wheel on this particular model. And something else new, a few paint colors. Here's what they are: Solar Silver Metallic, Canyon River Blue Metallic, and Urban Gray Pearl. And here's what your remote looks like. No changes there for 2025, but you still have engine hold right here. That's remote start for those that may not know, and lock, unlock. You can hold the button right here to open and close your power tailgate, and if you panic, there is the button you need to hit. We're going to have the power adjustable side view mirrors, gloss black mirror caps, turn signal indicators built in. They're heated, power adjustable, and let me hop inside here. There's a couple of things I can show you by turning the ignition on. First of all, there is your blind spot information system. And did you see what happened right there? That's because I pushed the button right here. So in case you were wondering, when you push that button, you can fold or unfold the power folding side view mirrors. And we'll find the gloss black as opposed to body colored door handles. You have the privacy glass here on the rear. There is a panoramic sunroof, nothing unusual, but it is here. And we have the rear roof spoiler right here that not only looks nice and just finishes things off in a very tasteful way, but it also channels air over this rear window when the vehicle is in motion. That helps keep that rear window clean. But when it isn't clean or when it's raining, obviously you've got that rear window wiper right there. Obviously this is a hands-free power tailgate. You know that because you have the sticker right here, and in kind of Mission Impossible style, peel after reading, peel off after reading. Does that mean some yellow smoke's going to come into the air when you do that? I don't know. Kind of interesting to see how that would work. Well, we know that's just a joke, but I have to say something. Now, let's see here what happens. How easy is it to use that power hands-free tailgate? Well, there you go. And if you want to, you're going to notice right here above the button, it says hold to set height. We're going to push that all the way into the up position right there. I'm going to hold the button down until I hear the beeps. There's all those beeps. That's how you change the height on this tailgate. So you can raise or lower it. It's all done by hand. You just push it or pull it down into whatever position you want it to be. And that's how you deal with it. It's super simple. You don't need much more of a tutorial than that. Under the hood is the surprisingly powerful 2-liter 4-cylinder. Makes 272 horsepower and 280 pounds-feet of torque. And it's mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission. A lot of the time when you hear 4-cylinder, you're expecting a CVT. Thankfully, not here. I do like the 10-speed automatic in favor of the CVT. How about your MPGs? 21 city, 26 highway, 23 combined, and 4.3 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. I don't know how well this will work, but there is the window sticker for those who might want to see that. In case somebody questions whether it's really a 25 or not, well, there you go. You know it's a 25. And in case anybody questions whether or not I give you the right information on the tire and wheel size, there that is. If you're wondering about the gas tank size on this 25 RDX, it's 17.1 gallons. If you're interested in towing with your RDX, it can tow up to 1,500 pounds. And with the rear seats in their upright position, you're looking at 29.5 cubic feet. We can use the releases right here to lower the rear seats, and we maximize our cargo capacity up to 79.8 cubic feet. We'll also find some storage space on each side of the rear back here. Not as much, obviously, on this side, but there is some room right there. You'll also find a 12-volt power outlet right here. And then underneath the floor, we're going to find a little bit of additional storage space. Now, you won't be able to use any functionality to bring those seats back up other than going up there and manually putting the seat backs back up manually. Your rear seat passengers will find plenty of space with the armrest. Seems to be quite comfortable. See the difference in materials that we have here. We'll also have the door bin, a couple of different bottle holder options right there. And for those who are wondering about reclining rear seats as far as the seat backs go, they do have a little bit of recline built into them, but you can't actually change the position. This is where they sit. There's only one position. In case you're wondering, that is a very common question. The fold-down armrest with the cup holders right there, and our panoramic sunroof. That front portion up here does open, and here is your power shade that can be drawn forward if you don't want all that light coming in. Maybe it's getting too hot, whatever the situation is. Rear seat pockets on the back of each seat, and then the rear air conditioning vents. We'll also find USB connectivity, and you can see via the buttons right here on the right and the left that the outboard seats are heated. For those who are wondering what the sticker price is for the 2025 Acura RDX A-Spec Advance, this is $56,400. That's going to be here at Or Acura, so you may find different pricing depending on where you live. And obviously you can take some money off of that with the Vehicle Visionary discount. And you can see and hear how you're greeted when you hop into the interior. So let's take a quick look here at the center console. A little bit of a change there as well. That's part of the refresh. Not major changes, but you will see some changes. Now, I know some of you might be disappointed to find out that we still do not have a touchscreen for the RDX. We'll have to see what comes in the future, but we still have the trackpad right here. And I know there's a wide range of opinions on that. Some people like it, some people don't, some people don't really care. I've had people tell me that they'd rather have the trackpad right here to manage the touchscreen as opposed to being able to use that as a touchscreen. And you might wonder, well, Tom, why isn't that a touchscreen? That's why, because it's so far away. So you'll find that it will be closer when the time comes that we see that change. And I guarantee you that will happen, but obviously not before the 2026 model year. Let's see what else we get for the price based on what I've shown you so far. We'll show you what else is here. Seat memory for the driver's side. We'll also have all the controls here on the driver's side door panel. As I showed you earlier, there's the button for controlling your side view mirrors. And when you lock and unlock the vehicle, they'll also fold and unfold. So you have all of that, all the controls for your windows and controlling the positioning of the side view mirrors. You'll also have some of your safety features right here. As you can see, if you're looking for your power parking brake, there it is right there. And we have the release right here. When you move that down like that, that allows you to adjust the positioning of the tilt and telescopically adjustable steering wheel. You can see via the button right here that this is also a heated steering wheel. Some of you may already need that depending on where you live. I know we're still probably several weeks away from needing a heated steering wheel here in Northwest Louisiana. And there is your instrument cluster, a combination of digital and analog activity here as far as the gauges go. The speedometer and the tachometer, both analog, but you also have your digital speedometer there in the middle. So a lot going on where that's concerned. Depending on what you want to do, you can go in and look at different information here. And all I'm doing, you can see that I'm scrolling through some of that information right there. We're just going to show you what's there. I'm not going to go into everything. and go into a lot of detail, but what I'm doing is simply scrolling with this scroll wheel right here on the right hand side. If I want to go in and see more information, then I can push on that scroll wheel and that gets me there. No problem, easy to deal with. And then we can get back out of that. You can get back to the screen where you were if you want to. Whatever you want to do, you can do. There's a lot of changes you can make here. It's so simple that you can use the hunt and peck method. And if you want to change the brightness, you can do that. If you want to decrease it, you can do that. You can increase it as well. There's also a head-up display. I don't know how well you can see that. It looks like it is showing up fairly well with the camera, but there it is. So a head-up display. And another change for 2025 is that if you mirror your phone, it takes up the entirety of the screen, which I think is a good thing. So that's what we're going to have there. We'll also find our driving modes. Let's see what those driving modes are. You're going to have comfort. We'll have snow mode, normal, and then we'll have sport. So easy to deal with, easy to figure out. We also have our dual zone climate control here in the front seat area. We also have ventilated and heated seats. You can also use auto right there, and the vehicle will select for you based on what the temperature is. If you want to turn your auto stop start or auto stop on or off, depending on your personal preference, there's where you do that. Still gonna have the push button shifter right here. So if you want to use whatever you want to use, whether you want to use drive or that S down there, which actually means sequential. You saw that we had sport mode up here with the dial right here, our dynamic mode selector. That's sequential mode, a little bit different from sport mode, but if you want to, you can use those shifter paddles right there. I do like the fact that they are rather large. That's nice to have. And if you aren't familiar with Acura, here is where you control not only your headlights and fog lights, you can also turn your tail lights on right there as well at the same time. You can set that to auto if you want to. And there's also something else that this lever provides the ability to do. Some of you know about that and some of you don't. How do I know that? Well, because I drive around you regularly and I know who uses their blinkers and who doesn't. Yes, it's all right to laugh, especially if you made it to this point in the video. Thank you for watching. I do appreciate that. Right here, I can't really say as much about that as I can about that lever on the left-hand side because you use this. That's for your front and rear window wipers. And the trackpad right here, you know, it takes some getting used to, but once you're used to it, I don't think it's as big of a deal. So we have the built-in navigation right here. Let's see if we can get to that. There we go. So there's built-in navigation. That flickering effect that you see is not really happening. That just does that through the lens of my camera. There's a lot going on here. Easy to deal with, easy to figure out, easy to learn. And with your cameras, you have quite a few views here. So that's always nice to have. You can even see that in a wider format if you want to. You can also change how bright that is, depending on what you want to see. So that's nice to have. We have the overhead 360-degree view. That's always nice to have, that kind of thing. And we're going to have our wireless charging pad right here, cup holders. And I showed you what the center console looks like as far as the lid goes. That also doubles as an armrest. But what do you find on the inside? Well, there is a USB port right there and a reasonable amount of space. Your upper console, that's where you're going to control the shade right here. Remember I told you about that shade? Well, let me show you that shade coming forward in action just so you can see it does cover the entirety of the sunroof. And then if you want to open and close that portion I showed you that opens and closes, that's going to be here on the left-hand side. You'll also find your sunglass holder right here. Now, on this particular model, we're not going to find seat memory for the passenger side over there. I really believe that on any vehicle that has seat memory for the driver's side, you should also have it on the passenger side. And it's a little dark here, so a little hard to see, but here is the button that you use to open the glove box. You don't actually have a release right here where you normally would. It took me a second to find that because it is kind of dark right there. The camera seems to pick that up really well. And space within the glove box. By the way, both seats are power adjustable and you have lumbar support. That's always a good thing, something else that I know a lot of people ask me about on a regular basis. And one thing I did want to verify, I've had a lot of people ask about this on some of the vehicles I show in my videos. I mentioned that you have lumbar support here on the passenger side, and here is the control for that. In case you were wondering, yes, it is here. Before we hit the road for the test drive, I did want to pair my phone and show you that when you use Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, that you're going to have that full screen. It's going to mirror your phone. So we're just going to go through and connect my phone real fast. This is not a hard thing to do, but I'm going to show you how I do it just in case you don't know. So scroll all the way to the bottom here. It's going to work the same way on an Android device as it does on my iPhone right here. So we're going to scroll all the way to the bottom. We're going to select pair right here. I'll also go here on the screen and hit pair as well. Now on my phone, I need to select allow. Give it just a second. It's going to ask me if I want to use Apple CarPlay. Takes a little time apparently for where we are today, I guess, a little slow. And we will go right here and use CarPlay. There we go. That came up, and we'll select enable CarPlay, Apple CarPlay right here, and now it's going to go ahead and run through the process right here. Let's see here. There we go. And as you can see, it does take up the entirety of the screen. So a nice little change where that's concerned. One of those changes for 2025. As we get out on the road for the test drive, there is one other change that I didn't mention earlier in the video, but it's appropriate to give it to you right now. Acura says they've made some changes with the interior, with the thickness of the glass, that should make the interior quiet, more quiet than it's been in the past when out on the road. And I must say, I do notice a little bit of a difference. So you'll have to try that out for yourself, especially if you're coming from an older RDX from the last few years. You should be able to tell a much better difference than what I can. A very enjoyable ride quality. It's comfortable, it handles well. And for those who live in a climate where you deal with more snow than not during the year, between the ride height, the fact that you're going to have all-wheel drive, and your snow mode, you are going to be in really good shape as far as getting around in those conditions. We don't have that too often around here where I live, but it is nice to have all-wheel drive when you do. Handling and ride quality work very well together. A lot of the time when you have a vehicle that handles well, the ride quality tends to suffer. Not so much here. It's not that it's high performance, but it is nimble and gets around. Nice tight turning radius. It handles corners well, so it's a nice sporty driving experience. And the seats themselves seem to be comfortable. It's hard for me to say for sure on that, simply because of the fact that I'm not going to be in these seats for very long. So it's a little hard to say for sure on that. Some of those who own the RDX and can maybe give a little more information on that can probably give us a more accurate description of what that's like long term. And easy to see out of. But the nice thing is that you not only have your blind spot monitoring, as we talked about and showed earlier, but obviously you have your camera views for tight situations. So that is a good thing as well. And the technology here, while some are going to say it's time for an update, we need a touch screen, which I understand that, but you still have very simple to learn and use technology. So that's always a good thing. A well-balanced vehicle here with what we have technology-wise. The space is plentiful. Somebody who's well in excess of 6 feet tall will have absolutely no trouble adjusting the seat and the steering wheel here as far as the driver's seat goes to being comfortable. I have no doubt about that. In fact, I'm 5'10" for those who may want to know, but I guarantee you there's somebody watching who can leave a comment who is over 6 feet tall that can verify what I'm saying and say, yeah, that's absolutely no problem for me. Maybe somebody 6'3", 6'4", that should not be a problem. Gas pedal and brake pedal, easy to manage. That's always nice to have that balance so you're not brake checking your passengers or anything like that. So overall, a very well-rounded vehicle. Okay, tell me what you think down in the comments. Is the 2025 Acura RDX the ultimate luxury compact SUV? Curious to know what your thoughts are. And what do you think about the changes for 2025? Did you see everything you were hoping for? I know there's one thing a lot of you were hoping for that isn't here, but we'll just see what happens in the future. I do want to say a special thanks to my friends at Acura here in Shreveport, Louisiana for loaning me this RDX for the day, and a special thanks to each and every one of you for being kind enough to take the time to watch and give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button. That helps me out a lot. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. And if you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I'll see you there.